And young people are critical in the advancement of any society, and it is up to the older generation to do its best to mold them while providing the tools and space for them to use their ingenuity and talent toward the greater good. Some youth, though, need a little more guidance than others. Today, we will be speaking with a gentleman who has been reaching out to young people since his days in law enforcement. Lauston Percival was at one point the president of Operation Future that worked directly with at-risk youth as well as part of the Community Policing Initiative. He is now based at the Probation and Child Protection Services Department as a Child Protection and Probation Officer. Good morning, Mr. Percival.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to Good Morning SKN.
I thank you very much for having me here.
It is indeed our pleasure. We missed you the last time,
Yes.
so we're happy to have you this time. So can you tell us some of your duties as a Child Protection and Probation Officer here in the Federation?
Well, I often regard myself as protector of children because that is what we are, and we look out for and make sure that our youth of the Federation live meaningful lives and stay away from the police officers.
Good stuff.
All right, so when you say that, they live meaningful lives and stay away from the police officers, you mean in terms of getting into trouble with law enforcement?
Indeed. Yes.
So how specifically do you engage with the youth and with the community at large to ensure that that happens?
Well, some of the things that we do, and I speak we of the Probation and Child Protection Services, we are out there within the schools, build relationships with the children, because it is much easier to build a relationship, let them have a friend so they can go to somebody in times of need, instead of staying away from them and next thing you know, something happens, we have to go build a trust with that individual. So it is always best to be on the proactive side of things and build a relationship with them. So whenever trouble comes, the foundation is already there for them, so they will open up easily to us.
All right, so let's talk about that, just by way of a follow-up. I understand that you had some talks recently in schools.
Yes, I'm always in the schools.
Okay.
Wherever I can get an audience with young people, whether it be at summer camps, church groups, sporting groups, in the schools, I often take that opportunity because the influences are out there, the negative influences are out there. So we now have to strike a balance or even go forward with the positive influences. So it is important to keep pounding the good messages in the young people's head.
Like what? What's some of the advice that you give?
Stay away from gangs, stay away from drugs, alcohol, how to deal with peer pressure when it comes. Because in a young person's life, it's not if it comes, it is when. And peer pressure is something that it pops up in many different ways. So one of the things that we do is tell them how to identify when peer pressure comes up. Because even in school, some of the activities the school have, they are opened up to peer pressure. The Mufti Day, right? You know, sometimes this person is well off, so they're gonna dress up, nice shoes, nice clothes, and person who really doesn't have it like that, they're gonna probably wear the uniform.
Yes.
And that in itself opens up the avenue for peer pressure. So it is a lot of different things out there. Sexual abuse, a big thing. Bullying, how to identify, what to do. All of these things are issues that are plagued with our young persons. So we have to now keep on the game and educate them when these things pop up, how to deal with them.
So you speak about the schools, so now can you tell us the difference between the truancy officer and the probation officer?
Well, a truancy officer is someone who basically deals with a child who is not going to school regularly. And of course, all the agencies, we work together. Because if a child is not going to school regularly, there must be an issue. Whether it is home-based or school, because a child might not go to school because of what he or she is faced with in the school.
Yes. As you
So they don't
mentioned,
want to
yeah.
go to school. So then once the truancy officers get wind of that and they do their investigations, whatever the issue is, they're going to now step into some other different agency, whether it is probation, social services, and try and get the problem solved and get that child back in the school, because children are supposed to get the education.
From my experience, and you'd be familiar with this as well, I'm aware that some children know how to beat the system, because there was a particular period that they had to be in, well, they had to miss, they couldn't miss, say it was X number of weeks. They would be flagged by the truancy office if they missed X number of weeks. And so what they do is that they'd show up once within that X number of weeks. Is there anything, you're laughing because you realize that that's one of the things that was going on.
You are so correct. And as truancy officers and anybody who look out for young persons, you have to stay ahead of the game, because children now, they are very, very smart. And when I say smart, I mean academically and both streetwise. So you have to be on top of the game. For me, red flags should go up if a child misses 2 days in school. Don't wait until it reaches a week, 2 weeks, a month. Once you see that child misses 2 sessions, then red flag should go up and truancy officer should be out finding out what is the issue. Because it is always best to grab the issue before it becomes a problem.
What are some of the signs that parents and guardians can look for that lets them know that their children might be engaging in behavior that puts them at risk?
Someone told me last night in a conversation, one pair of shoe, one size would not fit everybody. True. And I will start by saying this. What somebody will do, another person would not do. So you wouldn't have one set of signs that will fit everybody. Sometimes the type of music they start listening to, the way they speak, the way they dress. Sometimes you have to look at the physical aspects of it, what to look for if somebody is smoking, a young person is smoking, the fingertips, the blackening of the lips, the teeth discoloration, eyes. They come home, they go straight to the fridge to find something to eat. Or, on the other hand, it might just cut their appetite. So there is no one set guidelines to look for. You have to know your child, okay? And once you would have set your foundation, if you see them straying from that foundation, then you know definitely that something is up. Their friends, if you see they change their friends from something that is good to going over on the streets, on the other side of the street, to the person who does not go to school, who is always in trouble, those are flags that you have to look at.
Important signs indeed, yeah.
So I want to know, how did you get into this position? Were you mentored into it?
I could honestly say, yes, I was mentored into it. And growing up as a young boy in St. Johnson Village, I lived just 2 houses away from the St. Johnson Police Station. Back then, it wasn't the traffic department, it was the St. Johnson Police Station. And these guys, the officers who work at that particular station, a lot of them are still around right now. And I could honestly say that I practically lived in the station. I would go there, well, from school, I would go there and help them to do things around the station, clean their boots, make errands for them. I practically grew up being a police officer, so to speak. So I couldn't do anything else other than being a police. And I told myself, look, you have to do this. What these guys are doing for you now, when you get older, you have to do this. So I jumped at the first opportunity I got being a police officer, and I stayed inside here for 27 years. Loved every day of it. There's not a day I got up and not wanting to put that uniform on. I was always ready to see the sunrise, put the uniform on, and go out there and help somebody. And I would tell people I will do it in a heartbeat again if I have to, because
showed on your face.
that I love doing and still do. And yes, I miss being a police officer.
All right. The question that I have for you is concerning children who actually fall under the purview of child protection. Say they do that in their early teens. What are the mechanisms that guarantee that they continue to be protected or receive, the counseling or the training or whatever oversight? And what if there's negative feedback, pushback, pullback?
And there will always be something like that, because every case would not be an easy case. And there are times when juvenile will come and the issues that juvenile is dealing with easily solved. And there are times when you're going to be butting your head, what can I do? What next? Where can I turn to? And it's all about follow-ups. You have to do a lot of follow-ups. You have to let them know, look, I am here for you, right? All you have to do is be with me and let me help you. Because some of the times, some of the issues that they're going through are very, very simple issues, but to them, it's a challenge. So you do follow-ups. There's a lot of different agencies out there you can get assistance from. And as the officer who are dealing with the case, it is always best to get help. Don't take on that particular problem by yourself. Whether it is getting the juvenile counseling, getting whatever help they need, you go out there and you tap into whatever agency out there can help you, and you do that.
Good stuff. So what about I just lost my train of thought. So Jamie, take it away.
All right. So let's talk about the success story, because you've been doing this for a very long time, working with young people. Is there one particular success story that comes to your mind that you can say, boy, I really made a difference here and I'm really grateful?
If I start to do that, we are going to be here for a very, very long time. One success story that pops out. I was in the police force still, and I was coming up 4th Street in my uniform, and there was this tall gentleman coming down in a pilot's uniform. And we were getting close. He stopped and he pointed, you're that police officer guy, Percival? I said, yes. And who are you? He said, you don't remember me? I said, no, I don't remember you. He said, when I was going to primary school, you came and you just spoke to me because I was given a bit of a trouble in school, and you spoke to me and I listened to what you said, and here I am today being a pilot. And I said that for me, I was floating. On 4th Street, I was actually floating in the air.
Nice.
Right? And just recently, I went to the customs to clear some stuff for some children, some books and stuff like that. And the customs officer who was dealing with me, she said, I remember you from school, you know? I said, oh, what school? She said, primary school. I said, you're making me feel like I'm old. But she said, yes, I remember you coming to the school and speaking to us on bullying and sexual abuse and things like that. She asked, are you still doing it? I said, I'm not going to stop.